Welcome to Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and the game's deliberately paused because what I want to do is show you this oil refinery completing, the animation of it building up. And it's been a little bit long process since the end of the last video, and you can see the progress, also the fact that my rail lines have now been built. And the reason for that is it's just trying to get the money to finance the steel and mechanical components in here. And a couple of times it virtually wiped out my income, and for that reason I've actually, if I come here and show you, I've actually suspended all track building, because of course this also consumes steel along with other things. See, I'm a bit over the top with panels actually, never mind. But in the process of watching the game just run, monitoring it, doing nothing particularly special, I've actually noticed a couple of things, and that's given me to rethink the way I lay out my cities and do approach the manual construction. And I think that represents a big difference between if you're buying roads and buildings with cash and whether you're building them yourself. But the first thing I want to show you is this. I was watching this area here, and all the trucks from up here always came up through here rather than taking this road through here. Now there is obviously a slight difference in length. I mean, this is marginally shorter, but I was trying to work out why all the vehicles came up through here, and I think I've come up with a solution. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. If you know better, feel free to chuck it in the comments. Now, if I count the nodes, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 nodes on this road. That by nodes I mean road junctions where the road splits. If I come this way, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 nodes, and I've got the impression that what actually happens is the vehicles base their journeys on the number of nodes that they cross. So in the view of these vehicles, this is a shorter route than this route. I suppose it's a calculation based on the fact that the vehicles may have to stop and make a decision on every one of these nodes. Well, coming up that, the decision process is a lot more simpler. And I actually watched one vehicle come up here and then come down here to go to here. And again, if you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So again, that route there is shorter than coming up this route here. Anyway, that's the first point I've kind of noticed. Now the next one is related to it, and that is construction. And I think this is a habit you can get into when you buy roads. You build everything up, which is what I did here. Put all the building connections in, and then I ended up building all these tiny little short sections through here, and it was taking ages. And what I noticed is that when you have a short section like this, the construction crews over here do not deploy the heavy equipment. So if you imagine up here, I've got a bulldozer, an asphalt layer, roller, and dumper trucks. And what I've noticed is when I built a long section along here, the construction sites actually sent down a paver and a roller to build that section. These small sections, they just deploy workers, and that really slows the process up, especially if you're a bit short on workers. So what I've done is I've reworked this area and effectively made all these roads now into long sections. And what I want to do in this video is see if these will get built faster using machinery. So we'll be monitoring this. The other change here I've also done is I've put in smaller buildings, because I've been struggling with my population here, and what I've noticed is these big buildings which I've favoured never seem to top out. And there's also a problem that, like here, you can see I've got these allocated to 5 different industries. Now the problem with that is that once the population here starts to drop, because there's only a population of 115, that means sooner or later someone starts to suffer. So what I've thought is that if I make them with these smaller blocks of flats, just to show you here, and we got 75 workers here, I might be able to control the allocation of the work. Obviously all these people here will be working on in the oil refinery, but down here I've built 6 blocks across here, and the idea is say people in this block, once it's built, will be allocated to the fire station. Then a couple of these blocks will be allocated to the mall and the. So I want to try that out as well. But, I mean, it's all experimental stuff. I mean, in some ways, this series is preparation for another series I want to do, which is to start again but build virtually everything. So what it would be is a bit of a bootstrap economy. Now that now leads into my next observation, which is that when I was building this and the steel and mechanical components was coming in, I almost went bankrupt. I dropped right down. I think at one point I was down to about 10,000 rubles. What I had to do was suspend rail construction, which is okay at the moment because I've just laid in this new line here, but it's not going to be that big a problem. And that made me to take a very good look at the costs per ton when you purchase items. And you can see here that this warehouse is charging nearly 20 rubles per ton delivery, which over here isn't too bad because I'm importing electro components and mechanical components, and considering they're very expensive anyway, 20 ruble delivery charge is okay. But if, say for example, I bought crops over here, you can see that the delivery charge is nearly 50% of the actual price, so that's a big hike. And that also applies over here. So just to show you, I mean, even the steel, I mean, I'm charging 20 rubles per ton on steel. I mean, that's still fairly high. And then if you get to bricks, and especially wood or boards, even prefabs, that is a big hike. Now, bearing in mind, I'm not that far away from the border because the border's only over here. Now, what I want to do in the long term is get over down this way. Because down this way, I think it's on the bend of this river. In this area here, just to show you, you got to find iron. There's some big iron mines here, and what I want to do is on the curve of this river is build a steel town. So I'm pretty sure. Let me just check. I'm pretty sure that, yeah, there's some coal mine there, so we should be able to build a really effective steel town there. The problem's going to be is this is even further away from the edge of the map than where I am already. So I can't direct purchase steel and other key components down here. What I'm going to have to do is build an infrastructure that will supply that area. And to that end, this is why I've laid out this rail area here. But what I might also do is build a gravel road, maybe striking off from here, coming through here. You can see I've started to lay the gravel road out. I've now got my oil import air tank there, because the other thing I also want to do is the rail to come down here, because I was thinking about how to get the oil in from this area, and I did consider pipelines, but again, pipelines are very expensive. So what we may have to do is build some track down through here. We're going to have to try and get through these mountains, so we may have to come round this way a bit and come in through here, so that we don't have to grade over this lot. But that's all for future, guys. Now we're going to kick this off. I'm just going to let the game run. I'm going to keep it at relatively slow speed. And what I want to do is assign... Oh, can't do that because that's still being built. We can definitely assign that one. And what I want to do is assign you this one. And another good tip, guys, is what I've found is that sometimes if you stack two construction sites on top of one job and they've got different machinery, they will actually work effectively together. What we're going to do is just watch the bus come in. This shouldn't take too long to build, because all my construction crews are. There we are. You can see it's now building up pretty steadily. I'm just going to speed up a bit, so you can see this is now pushing through. We're just going to keep an eye on this, and while this actually builds up, because what I want to do is get this built, and then what we will do then is concentrate on getting this infrastructure connected. Yeah, so we're getting there, guys. You can see the dumper trucks are now coming out, and there's a little footpath there. Great. didn't notice that. And now that I'm not buying steel and mechanical components, my income is actually rising quite well, actually. So, and this is an example of how more efficient the road construction or building construction is. That once you got these larger sections of road, where you can see this one here, I think I'm just gonna finish that, guys, because it's just irritating to have these very short sections of road. It seems to take a very long time for them to build. Oh, there we are. I've missed it, guys. Sorry about that. I hope you saw it in the background. We've now got our oil refinery, but at the moment I'm not going to get any workers to go into it as such, because what we do need to do now is work on this infrastructure in the background. And what I want to do is build this, and this before I fire up the oil refinery, because what I want to do is allocate this to fuel, this to bitumen. You can see, and I've actually got my road crane here operating here. So, and what hopefully that will get into the action. Now, a bit more of an update while I'm watching that go, because it's going to be very much watching and concentrate on that oil refinery. Is over here, my food situation is improved dramatically now. You can see after all that backlog of food, life has got back to normal here now. Yeah, I've literally, I mean, I sold off a lot of the food, but what I've done now is readjusted these trucks. So if I show you here, and I just need to check, make sure none of them are, oops, you've got a mediums customs house. I think you can get to, right? Why won't it? Oh yeah, that's because I've already put the trucks out and they won't actually stop until they've actually come to this area here. The reason for that is I was exporting. The main way I could get this down is by exporting lots of food. Up here, things have settled down a little bit, but you can see here, so I still need to manually drive this. So we're just going to, I mean, there's probably better ways to do this, but I just want to run this down to about 200 tons again, just to get the export side of this working. Right, let's stop that again. This will be, yeah, this is virtually full up. So I'm not having to do this so much because things are doing, and my population is slowly increasing, and this comes back to the having the smaller flats. Yes, they're higher cost, but it does give you a lot more control. You see a lot more people are wandering around here, because what you can do, if I had smaller flats, I could allocate people to workers. As I've watched Colonel Failure and Orbital Potato, there seems to be two different approaches to sending workers to, say, areas like this where you've got a coal mine. One is to take this approach where you build a small community round to drive this resource, or the other one is that you build a town, say down here, and then bus people up to there, so the coal mine or gravel pit actually stands alone out here. And I'm not sure which way I actually favour, and I'm not totally sure which is the most efficient. So if any of you guys got any experiences on that, feel free to chuck that in the comments. My approach, I think, is going to be a mixture of the two, depending on how important. Now, this is a cornerstone production area for my whole economy, so to me building a village up here makes sense. Though again, what I would do is put in the smaller buildings. Actually, this building here is empty, I think, correctly. Yep. So I've got a couple of empty flats around here, so that can work. So what I want to do is show you guys what I've been doing here. What I've done is I've created a rail link here, which has come down here. In fact, I think probably I could trim this back a bit. I use this tool. because when I did this out, I was trying to get a straight line for to be able to get this junction built, because what I've built is this junction here. So we've got a double junction, we've got the fuel unloading here, which is where the oil is going to come in, and I've got this junction here because what I'm thinking is I may bring a rail line round up to here and maybe adjusting this and then building a warehouse or somewhere here for imports. And actually, I want to try something. Let me just try something here, guys, as well. Let's just hook this up, zoom in, hook there. Oh yeah, we can raise the water level. Oh, that's good. When I expected it was going to work, but never mind. When I expected it was going to work, but that's good to know, because what I'm thinking is to build a warehouse and an open storage area here, and then what we're going to do is ship resources in from here, possibly by rail, so that I don't overload this area. So this will be my import area for the what we call it. This will be my import area for the constructions I need for this going forward. And again, here's an example, guys. See how quickly these roads are being built? And I think that really makes a big difference. So what we're going to need to do now is and of course the problem we're going to get is we're not going to get a construction yard through here. I can almost guarantee it. Yep. Okay, how far can I get? Let's see. What we're looking is we might be able to skirt through this area here. If I come here, I'm just gonna get a nice long loop here. Just zoom out. If I run this, try and keep this. Come on, game. I was hoping for a nice long line of track, and then see how far we can get if we come this way. I'm not too worried about it looping out too far, because eventually we want to run down to there, and what we're looking for is aiming there. So if I put we run a long straight track here like this, and then what I can do then is if we run some track off like that, and come on. This is a little bit too wide. Right, that will come that way. Maybe we can extend this a little bit further, keep it straight, and then on this junction to be nice and big. One thing about this game is you don't have to do keyhole surgery. You can really throw this out as far as you can. Now, this is where the fun's going to start. So I don't think I'll be able to get the construction. And can we grade this in? No. And that's where we're out of construction office. Okay. What we're going to do is I'm just going to mark that for construction. What we got is a rail link that we can come out of here, come down through here, what I'm inclined to do is build a road down through here. So just I'll keep an eye and see how these guys are going. We need to keep them busy. Right, we've got an unfinished road, 16%. Where is it? It's not one of these silly little roads, is it? No, it's, yeah, it's. Oh, you're working on this area here. Okay, you're busy. And the other thing I also want is these to be working on. Right, we've now finished this area here. Actually, I think we're going to keep these guys as the main. So we need to build this oil tank. Also put an oil tank here. This is going to be my fuel oil tank, and then the idea eventually is for this to come up and connect to here. Maybe we'll do that now. I mean, actually, I'd like 2 pipelines coming up through here. One from here. This would be the bitumen tank, which will connect to there. So let's see if we can get these in. Trouble is, this isn't going to be. We're probably going to need a pumping station, aren't we? Let's get this the right way round. In fact, we're probably going to need 2 pumping stations here. I don't know how far. This is where. Okay. This is the wrong way round. This is in, this is out. Great. So if I put that up, you're not going to cross. You go down. It's going to be a little bit. Okay, how far will this go? Oh, let's go this fast. Ow! Too long. So that's really long. If I can sneak. That's annoying. So if I can put a. That's got to be that way round. No, it's not. It's going to be. So we just zoom in. And we can put a pumping station in about there. And I've just realised that maybe there's not enough. There's no power here. We've got a pumping station there. Let's just get the pipe work in. We're going to have to come out here and then up, across, down. Oh, and it went through there before. Come on, game. Okay, on even higher. And then what we should be able to do then is go out that way. I don't know if there's any extra costs if you go elevated. What we should be able to do now is we've got a pipeline that's connected to there through this storage capability there. So you just see you're not powered. Okay. Let me just check the range. So you've got power to there. That's my other substation. And you've got power to there. So we're going to need a substation in here as well. Wow. How the heck am I going to get a substation in here? I think what I'm going to need to do is put this pipeline in first. Because I want to get a pipeline over there. So what's my money? My money's building up quite steadily. This one's going to come out here, and then that's going to over there. I think that comes to about there. And if we put another pumping station in here, it's going to get a little bit congested, I think. And what we're going to do is put a. This is another thing I've suddenly realised, guys. And again, I think it came from, I can't remember whose video I was watching actually on this. And it suddenly occurred to me is, why am I wasting money building very expensive roads when they're really service access. Wow. If we come this way, that's not gonna. We're gonna have to come over here. Then we're gonna have to put another pumping station in here. Hopefully, I'll be able to fit it in. You can get this as far north as possible. Then we'll hook this pipe up to here. Okay. Then we're going to hook that up to over there. That up to there. So the idea is that I will then have this oil refinery juice supplying the fuel to this for my diesel trains and supplying the oil, the bitumen to here. I mean, I've got a second fuel tank here, but what I want is an intermediate tank to supply this. Because what I want to do is have enough fuel in here for this to run. Now the next thing we're going to need to do is power this up. He says with a nervous laugh. Kind of instinct is to go over here. Maybe put a zoom out a little bit. That should cover. Maybe we can inch it out a little bit further. I mean, I don't need that. I don't need that. I need to make sure that I cover that pumping station. So if we can, if I come that way now, I think what we'll do is we'll put another separate power supply for the town, because the oil refinery is going to draw a lot of electricity. So we're going to need this to be. Of course, what we're going to do now, is run a power line from here. How am I going to get a power line? All power lines, yeah, power lines will go over. And if I can take a power line down to about here, and then we can run power lines here. And as traditional with the UK, power lines often run alongside of the fund that with rubles, and we're going to fund this with rubles as well. Yeah, power lines often run alongside rail tracks in this country. And what that should do now is give me power to here. So we've now got that connected, this building up, this, oh yeah, I've got my pumping station here, and of course we're going to have to put a dirt road in here. Oh, right. Great. Okay, we're just going to have to run the risk of that burning down. I mean, I could move it further north. Probably as if I'm going to delete these stupid oil pipelines again. I mean, it's got a bit of a dog leg in it anyway. Yeah, I think we're just going to stick with that just for the moment, guys. And you can see my money's building up fairly slowly. And maybe it's time to give these guys a construction job. So we give them the one job, let them get out and running. And at the moment, as I say, I don't want the oil refinery doing anything at the moment. And oh, what was that? Oh, we got a building on fire. Where is it? Just oops. My fire crew's going to be on the job. And I suppose we better do the check. We've got lots of coal flowing into here now. And you're out. I think what we're going to do is just let this run for a little while now in automated time. And I just want to check the food situation here. Yeah, So the food is settled down a little bit. Okay. As I say, we do got a little bit of money flowing in as well, long last, and just check how things are running here. Yeah, we got a bit of production going here. What I've done is I've reduced the number of vehicles shifting wood now, because what was happening is they were queuing out here. And there's probably another tip in here, guys. If you've got an open air storage area or even a warehouse where there may be shortages and delays around here, what you want to do is make sure you've got a bit of an access road, so that if your trucks start queuing up, they don't block the roads which are required by other vehicles. I'm getting a little bit worried over here because these guys seem to want to chop these trees down, but not these trees. I'm not seeing them harvesting any of these trees. I'm still a little bit worried about this mechanic. If any of you guys have been able to plant trees and harvest them, feel free to tell me, because I'm getting a bit worried here, because it says that my amount in the forest, it says 3,800 logs. Right, where you go? See, these are still going out there, because it may mean that we may have to move our forestry a little bit, which will be a pain in the neck. I mean, we could move it down here. There's my little train running. I think sometimes what you just need is a train here that's just doing his own thing. Right, this is built, so I think we can give this guy another job. And oops, let's pick this construction site up. And I say what I've found is sometimes it pays to double allocate. If we give him that, I think you've got the road roller, haven't you? I'm sure I had a road roller in here somewhere. Or have I lost it? Come on, I'm sure one of you's got a road roller. Oops, I keep hooking that. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is we're going to... Not that one. What we're going to do is move you down to here. Oops. Oh, you're full. Okay. See, these guys aren't doing much, so maybe if I allocate these to one of these as well, then maybe we'll get these finished. I found that double crewing these can be quite useful. Anyway, guys, it's just... While that's working, let's just do a little bit of work on the road. And what I want to do is run this through. I'm not too worried about the terrain here. And, I mean, I could try going right over the top, I suppose. Okay, let's cancel that. I mean, there's no... Actually, there is a reason, because I could want to bring a road up here. Actually, that could be a good solution. Fine. Come on, game. You wanted to come over this. Just turn the game around a bit. I'm just going to. Okay, what we're going to have to do is pick out this section here. Lots of little bits and pieces here anyway, so if we take out this section track here, you can see there's like some like that, and then we take out that. I'm just going to put the wire grid on. we'll do is we'll just level this off a bit. And if I bring this road, put you there, and then we hook you to there, you to there, and then okay, I'm just gonna have to hook this back, and hopefully you will into there like that, and we'll just finish that off, and then we'll just get back to the road. And as I say, we're going to stick to gravel roads here. And I think what we're going to do is just put a gravel road through there like that. I'm just going to hook you into there like that. And then if I need it, actually, yeah, let's put this in. I mean, it's going to be a bit extravagant, but I think it will work in the long term. And what we're going to do is come through here. I'm going to hook up to there, and then this road can go off in this direction like that. There's a rise there, so maybe we will just leave that there for the moment, and just gonna maybe we need just to break through here directly, because we need to get here for the oil fields. Now I could use money, but it'd be very expensive to build this here. So maybe we need to break a road out through here. Don't know how far this is going to let me. We can get up. Yeah, this is building a mound. Don't like that at all. Going to level this back down again. Get this back to where it was before. And just going to level this back. So I may want to build out this way. Therefore, I don't really want this to have a great big embankment through the centre of it. So I think what we're going to do is I shrink this down a little bit. Left mouse button, and we're just going to level this off a little bit like this, and see how far we can get the construction crew out here. And then what we'll do is we'll remove that, just get rid of this tool like that, and then we're going to come out to about here, and then there's like a path through there, and we're not going to build much over here. Like, you push through as far as you can. If we can get here. Now there is a little bit of a trick here, guys, that if you start somewhere and drag the road really long, you can keep the free kind of excavation stuff going. Okay. Let me just come here. Just take this out back. Yeah, if you just curve this out like this. Yeah, you as long as the starting point is in range of a construction, you can cheat the game a little bit by doing this, but you've got to do it all in one long haul like that. And maybe if I come back, see if I come here and try and hook this. Oh no, it's still letting me do it. Okay. Well, that's letting me build the road through here. Okay. I'll take that. When we're nearly there, I mean, I've got to just make sure we hook that up. See how it says that this cannot be built. We are now virtually. I follow the contours. I mean, this is effectively a construction road. So we've now got this construction road through here. Wow. And then the idea is just to show you here, by the oil rigs. We've got oil here in the lake and oil over here. And then eventually we will have a train pickup point here with some storage tanks. Oops. Fire. The school's on fire, but we're okay. Anyway, I'm just going to turn off the wireframe, get back up here. So you can see where we're going now, guys. With oil field here, steel mill over here, and we'll try and get these roads built in, and eventually the track built in as well. Right, we've now got our oil tanks built, and just to wind this video up, in this one we're going to store bitumen, and in this one we're going to store fuel oil. So we've now got this up and running, and these guys have got no jobs, so because I've been talking too long, let's just get these working on that. And of course what we're going to do just is hook these up. Hopefully this is going to work. Nope. So we're going to have to go high, and we're going to go into there. Don't know how much this is going to cost me. Okay, what I'm going to do now is go here, and then we're going to confirm these pipelines. How much is this going to cost me? 14,000 rubles. Well, I think we can afford that, and that, and that, and that. I mean, I've spent a lot of money, but that means that I've now got my oil refinery up and running, and of course this building here can be used to get fuel for my petrol stations. I think what we can do now is cancel that, and we're now going to put you onto this area here, so that we're going to get a little bit of work, a few workers in here, and remember what we're going to do is purchase rubles. You can see here 25 rubles a ton, which is 50% of this, so this is going to be very expensive oil. Right, what I'm going to need to do now is get a cheap train up and running. So what we want, what's the cheapest possible train that I can get? Actually, how much of the cargo wagon, diesel locomotive, so we're going to need 79,000 for that. Cargo wagons, how much are you? Yeah, where's my oil tankers? You're 23,000 a pop. So what we're going to do is buy that, and we're going to get, we're just going to start with a very short train, I think, to start with, simply because we can't really afford to. What we're going to do is pick you up there, and you're going to go to there, and your job is to pick up fuel, wait until loaded, go to there, and we're just going to get that up and running. And the idea is just to start making a small amount of profit. I mean, it's not going to be a vast amount, but of course he's going to stop there and pick up fuel, which is going to take even more of my money. But of course the real focus is going to have to be on getting the tanks running, this built, and more workers in here, so the train goes. And what we can do is add more this train over time. So we have another, maybe two oil trains running backwards and forwards here. Across the crossing, nice and quick. And we're just going to get in here. And these guys are filling up really nicely with the fuel. This is where I go broke. So the train will fill up here. You can see how much the value of the, you can see here how much this is going to be worth once it's finished. So hopefully this will fill up quite nicely. And I'm just going to keep everyone nice and busy, working hard. Just have a check over here. Just check my, yeah, these guys are working. That's the power station. Yep, we've got people in there. These guys have drained out all my coal, which means I'm paying for my coal here because this can't keep up. So, which is probably why my money's dropping. So, and that doesn't look like it's actually. You've got, yeah. Let's just check the here. Yeah, numbers of workers has dropped, which is of course for concern. We've got 74. Yep. Just can't seem to keep the workers up here, despite the fact they're all happy. They've got sports. They've got a pub. I mean, what else do they need? It's just like almost like I can't stabilize the population. Although I mean, I can't seem to get above 2,000 workers. So, and you can see here that this is not working that well. Okay, it's just I probably need a few more workers in here, but yeah, the workers are dropping here as well. When can I pull anyone from? I mean, again, you've dropped down. I think what we're going to do is we're going to put more workers into here. And is there? Yeah, we've got some more. We're going to put some more workers in here, and then the idea is that will push up production here, and that should now, although again they've got a storage here but they don't seem to be using it. I think that mechanic might be a little bit broken. Yeah, so the number of people there working, pushing up to. So at the moment we're just trundling through. Right guys, I think just to wind this video up, what we're going to do is pick my oil train. How are you doing here? Yeah, I mean you probably need some more workers in here so that because at the moment they're buying oil. We're buying oil here, and this is costing money. I think just for the purposes of this video. So I'd like my train to do one run. Maybe if they only pick up 50% of the load. Because I'm more interested to see whether the track actually works. Because I don't actually have any signals here. Okay, that's a problem. I'll fix that off camera, guys. But I want my little train up and running. And out comes the train. I do need to finish this road off as well eventually one day, though it's not that important. And we've just made about 10,000 approvals. Right guys, this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. Next part, we've got to have a real big push to get down here, to start putting our oil field together and getting this track finished so that we can start importing oil. Because until we can really import oil, life is going to be very difficult here. because as you can see, the cost of buying in the oil is very problematic. Anyway, this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.